I have covered a number of games over the years, but never have I covered one as special as Manor Lords. Manor Lords is not just your average medieval city builder. You will be able to raise armies to fight in real time, Total War-esque battles. The people in your armies will actually be the same villagers that work in your village. This will have consequences if they die. Basically, it will affect your production because if a villager dies while fighting in a battle, obviously they won't be able to continue producing whatever they were producing in your village before. While this could be annoying, it is also extremely immersive as you actually care about your different villagers in your village, and if one dies off in a battle, you will feel it both in your production and in the battle. The combat animations in Manor Lords look absolutely amazing. In one of the trailers, it shows a villager kicking down a bandit and then stabbing them with a spear. In most games where there is combat with a lot of units, you will have some combat animations, but nothing as detailed as what you will see in Manor Lords. Not only is the combat extremely detailed in Manor Lords, but the building is something completely new and not seen in any city builders that I have played before. There is no grid in this game. It is completely organic city building, so roads will connect to different buildings and buildings will snap onto roads. However, there's no set grid on the ground. This causes the cities to look very natural. It is honestly more immersive because the cities actually look like what a medieval city would look like instead of being very grid-like and set in stone as you will find in most city builders. And honestly, it just makes it feel like you're running a medieval village as like a baron or whatever, instead of playing as a god and making the perfect city. It really just increases how immersive the game is. Speaking of immersive gameplay, there are a number of ways that this game really makes you feel like you're immersed in the game. If you are watching closely, when you're building a building, materials must be taken from their storehouse to the building before the building can be built. You can actually watch the buildings while they're being built and they are put down plank by plank. It is really cool. While the builders aren't actually animated to go plank by plank, honestly, the builders look a lot like AoE or Age of Empires, like 4 builders where they just hit on the ground near the building. It still is really cool watching the buildings being built plank by plank with wood. And honestly, I could watch the buildings being built for hours on end. Another incredibly immersive feature in Manor Lords is the sound design. The soundtrack is absolutely amazing. It feels like you're back in medieval times, and the sound effects are even better. They really remind me of New World sound effects. The sound of chopping a tree is amazing, and honestly, just most of the sounds in the game sound really realistic for the time and for what is happening. The weather effects are also really cool in the game. When it rains in the game, puddles actually form on the road, as well as it looks like your buildings become wet, and it just changes like the textures to make it look very cool and realistic. And also when it snows during winter time, as there is winter, that is when most of your villagers will probably die. Snow builds up over time over the course of the winter, which again isn't needed in a game like this, but it creates an environment that is so immersive. It really feels like you're running this village. And I don't know any other game where the snow builds up over time during the winter. When there are disasters in the game, you can actually watch your villagers put out fires and stuff like that. And that is features in other games, but it looks very realistic in this game, and it's just something I love. I know I already touched on how special the building is in Manor Lords, but I wanted to go into a little bit more detail. For example, when you are building houses in the game, basically you put down a square grid of how big you want your house plot to be, and then the game chooses for you how many houses fit in the area. And you can hit like the plus or minus sign to add some houses here and there, but it really is dependent on how you place your grid. And the even cooler part of this is something I have never seen in another game, is houses can actually have their own vegetable gardens, chicken coops. I even think I heard something about houses having goats, though I haven't personally seen that. Additionally, houses can be upgraded into artisan homes eventually. That is seen in games like Frostpunk and stuff. And then the collision and pathfinding on roads is just amazing. That is found in other games, but I think especially in this game is just really well implemented. Everyone that played the demo said they found it very satisfying and it was really well done. While development points and policies aren't completely new, as these have been found in games like Frostpunk and some other city builders, they are still a nice addition and they do add on to this game. You will get development points for developing your city into, I think, larger settlements, and then policies can also be enacted to change the way you play the game. And again, they're not like unique or anything, but I think they will make each playthrough unique and they will be interesting nonetheless. The personalization in this game looks absolutely amazing. Even in the demo, the coat of arms creator was very in-depth, and I think it even allowed for people to upload their own coat of arms, so I'm not sure about that. And I think it will allow for many combinations, and I'm sure you will be able to find something that you are happy with no matter what. The most recent trailer even showed being able to change the body, weapon, shield, helmet, and accessory on individual knights in each army. This level of customization may not be for everyone, but it really will, I think, allow you to become more connected to different knights in your army, and you really will feel it if they die and stuff. So I think that's really cool. I don't think that's seen in any other game. I know like in Total War, you can't customize each individual unit. It's very just like you don't really care about them. You just care about the overall unit. So that's really cool. And I'd assume that, you know, whatever you're equipping with, you also like built or traded for in your town. So again, very immersive, and you'll actually care about the people in your town. The overall map of the game is actually something that's pretty unique. I don't think I've ever seen it before. It has a 3x3 grid of regions when you go like to the world map, and basically you'll start in one of the regions with your small village, but eventually you can claim them all, I'm pretty sure, and you'll be able to build in all the regions, not just limited to your first one. And I don't know any other city builder that allows you to claim other regions like that and then also build an in-depth, like a detailed village like your first village in the new regions that you claim. So something that's really special about Manor Lords is how far you can zoom in, and when you zoom in that far like into the village, the details are still really amazing. I mean, every single thing just seems to have really nice like poly counts. The details on the textures are extremely nice. Even on like flowers, they're just absolutely gorgeous. The graphics are really part of what's going to make this game. And even with all of the detail in the world, the game seemed very optimized during the demo. We don't know what it'll be like on release, but hopefully if, you know, he kept building it the way he was, I think people even with like pretty bad PCs weren't having too many issues running it during the demo. So that is very good to see. You see a lot of AAA games released nowadays with no optimization at all. They're a complete bloated mess. I think like a lot of game devs just don't know how to optimize well anymore. But this game definitely seemed optimized during the demo, and I'd assume it probably will be optimized like that as well during full release. Something to add is I think modding has the opportunity to make this game even bigger than it will be on launch. Ideas I've seen like floating around is adding like a Lord of the Rings or a fantasy mod where you could add other races with different building / mechanics. There could also be like a medieval Japan mod. Honestly, that wouldn't take too much work. It would just be like a reskin of different things, but maybe the addition of cherry trees as well. But I think that mods would just be absolutely amazing for this game. And obviously, I don't think mods will be released on early access, though they might. I need to confirm that. But it will be really cool once people start making mods for this game for sure. And then last but not least, one of the coolest things in Manor Lords is you're actually able to walk around your village in a third person view. You actually spawn in like as your baron or yourself or as a lord, and you can walk around and watch your villagers doing your things, and it's just absolutely so cool. I don't know any other city builder where you're able to actually spawn in and walk around as one of the people in the game, and it's just something that is so immersive. It's so cool. I've definitely wished for this before in city builders, being able to just walk around like in first person or third person and view my city from the street level instead of like the overall like god level view. It really makes you feel like you're part of the world, and I know that I'm going to be spending a lot of time once I built up villages just walking around, taking it in, watching the activity bustle around me. It's going to be so immersive and just feel amazing. Anyways, those are all the reasons why I am very excited for Manor Lords and why I think it is revolutionizing the medieval city building genre. Let me know if I miss anything in the comments below. When Manor Lords comes out, I will have a bunch of gameplay, tutorial, and live streams covering it. I am so excited, and it should be a great time. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you want to catch my future content on Manor Lords, and I hope y'all have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time.